I stood there in our kitchen, my hands shaking as I stared at my daughter Sophie's phone. The text from my husband lit up the screen. "Did you put the extra drops in her coffee? It needs to be tonight. She won't wake up tomorrow." My heart shattered into a million pieces. This was the girl I had loved and raised as my own for 15 years. My husband's secret child. And now, she was helping him kill me. If you're hearing this and feeling that chill down your spine, welcome to Her Voice 901. This is where we share the raw, dark stories of betrayal that happen in ordinary homes. The secrets, the lies, and the moments when people finally fight back. Let me take you back to the beginning, so you understand how we got here. 16 years ago, David and I had been married for 8 happy years. We lived in a nice house just outside the city. We tried for kids, but it never happened. Life felt complete, or so I thought. Then one stormy night, David walked through the front door, holding the hand of a tiny 3-year-old girl with wide, scared eyes. "This is Sophie," he said quietly. "She's mine. From an affair. Her mother just died in a car accident. Social services found me. I never knew about her until now." The words hit me like a slap. An affair. During our marriage, I felt sick, betrayed, angry. But then Sophie looked up at me with those innocent eyes and called me lady, in the softest voice. I couldn't turn my back on an innocent child. No matter how much David had hurt me, Sophie didn't deserve to suffer. So I made the hardest choice of my life. I said yes. We would raise her together as our daughter. The first years were tough. Nights were filled with Sophie's nightmares about losing her mum. I was the one who rocked her back to sleep. I was the one who learned how to braid her hair, who taught her the alphabet, who stayed home when she got sick. David helped when he could, but he often buried himself in work. I understood why. The guilt probably ate at him. But I fell in love with being a mom. Sophie called me mommy after a few months, and it healed something in me. We had birthday parties, with pink cakes and balloons. Summer trips to the lake, where she'd splash in the water and laugh. I volunteered at her school, cheered louder than anyone at her dance recitals. She was my world. As Sophie grew into a teenager, I noticed small changes. She spent more time alone with David. They shared whispers and inside jokes that stopped when I entered the room. She started closing her door more. I told myself it was normal. Teenagers pull away from moms sometimes. They get closer to dads. Then the sickness started. About 2 years ago, I began feeling exhausted all the time. Headaches that wouldn't stop. Nausea after meals. I went to doctors. They ran every test. Blood work, scans. Nothing showed up. They said it was stress or maybe perimenopause. "Take vitamins," they said. "Rest more." But deep down, I knew something was wrong. I started keeping a journal of when I felt bad. It was always after meals Sophie helped prepare, or drinks she brought me. One afternoon, I came home from work early. The house was quiet except for voices coming from the upstairs office. I tiptoed closer and heard Sophie talking on the phone. "Yeah, she's getting sicker just like you said. Dad thinks 1 more month and we'll have the house and everything. No more pretending." My blood turned to ice. Pretending? I quietly went downstairs and waited. Later that night, while Sophie was in the shower, I checked her phone. There were hundreds of messages to a contact named Mum. Not me, the real biological mother. She wasn't dead after all. David had lied about that too. The messages between Sophie, David, and this woman were clear. They had reconnected years ago. Sophie had known the truth since she was 12. They wanted me gone so David could be with her real mum. The house was in my name, partly from my inheritance. There was life insurance. They planned to make my death look natural. Slow poisoning. I felt like my entire life had been a lie. The child I sacrificed for, loved unconditionally, was plotting against me with the man I stayed with for her sake. But I didn't cry or scream. Not yet. I became smart. I started recording their conversations with hidden apps and cameras. I saved samples of my food and drinks and had them tested privately. The results confirmed poison, a slow-acting toxin. I met with a lawyer in secret. I moved money to new accounts they didn't know about. I prepared everything. For weeks I played the part of the clueless, sick wife. I acted weaker than I felt. Let them think their plan was working. Then came the night. They chose for the final dose. Sophie made my evening coffee with a sweet smile. Here you go, Mom. This will help you feel better. I took it, thanked her, and went to my room, but I poured it down the sink. I waited. Around 10 o'clock, I heard them in the living room, David and Sophie talking openly. It should be happening soon, David said. She'll be gone by morning. Then we call the ambulance and play the grieving family. Sophie laughed softly. Finally, I won't have to call her Mom anymore. That was the moment. The complete betrayal. I walked downstairs, strong and clear-eyed. 2 police officers followed me through the door. I had called them earlier. You thought I was dying, I said, my voice steady. But I've known everything for weeks. I played the recordings on my phone, showed the lab reports, the messages. The evidence was overwhelming. Sophie's face went pale. David's mouth opened, but no words came out. They tried to deny it at first, but the police had seen enough. Handcuffs clicked on both of them. The biological mother was arrested later that night too. The divorce happened fast after that. I kept the house, most of our savings. David lost his job when the story spread through our community. No one wanted to work with a man who tried to murder his wife. Sophie, now 19, got nothing. No support, no inheritance. She had to figure out life on her own, with the truth hanging over her. I stood in court and watched them both realize how completely they had underestimated me. The woman who had given everything to raise a child that wasn't hers had finally taken her power back. In the end, I rebuilt my life, stronger, wiser, free from the lies, and with the deep satisfaction of knowing that the people who tried to destroy me got exactly what they deserved. They lost everything, while I finally found peace.